Now I should be good to go. By technical issues, I mean I forgot to plug in my laptop and it died, and then I had to fix it. So, I am back. We're going to get started here in just a couple minutes. Okay, let's see here. Oh, looks like I need to close that. All right, let's get rolling. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing more modeling on this house. I'm trying to get, probably going to start with getting the windows ready to start placing, as well as these siding modules and these bricks. I want to focus on basically working my way from the bottom up. And I'm going to go ahead and go around and start placing all the way around the house. I may have to model one more type of window, or not model, but create a instance of one of the smaller windows. There's a few different types of windows on the house that I'm kind of discovering as I look at the photos. So there will be a lot of that, and then I also am going to need, let's go ahead and launch it. I'm going to need to work on a little bit of character design in Clip Studio, and then I also am going to have to do some study of the Maya documentation and learn a bit about a few things. Probably foremost is how to do a landscape in Maya, because I have something due in class for that. So I'm going to be looking through the documentation, referring to a few things, and probably taking notes and talking a little bit about Maya. So with that in mind, let's get started. If you do happen to join at some point, or if you're watching this later, please say hey in the chat, and I will try and make sure I respond. And in the meantime, let's get my Pomodoro started. I may take longer breaks today than normal. I may take longer than 5 minutes. I may take 10 to 15, just because I didn't get enough sleep last night, and when that happens, my body tends to yell at me. And basically, what's going on here? My back starts hurting a lot, and sometimes I need extra time to lay down or close my eyes, you know. But it's better to do that than to just not get anything done. Okay, so I have this window here. I want to go ahead and create a boolean for this siding so that it cuts out where the window is. So I'm going to go ahead and I've got my 3D cursor set to match this pivot point. I'm going to go Shift A. I'm going to add a cube. And on that cube, I am going to, let's make sure, let's see, size is 2 foot. It's coming in at 2 foot. So I'm going to go into edit mode on that cube, grab this bottom face, Shift S, cursor selected, right click, went back out into object mode with tab, and now I'm going to right click, origin to 3D cursor. I'm going to move this up and snap it to about the bottom of the window there. I'm going to see all my scale is still set, so I'm going to go ahead and go into edit mode, select everything, SX, scale on the x-axis just to get it thereabouts. It looks like my window's not actually 100% lined up, because the center line is not where it's supposed to be. Let me just check this real quick. X, snap it to that. Maybe this one is not quite centered. It should be fine. Maybe I was just reading that wrong. Let me undo that, get it right back where it was. GX, just to make sure that's snapping correctly. Okay. Alright, that's better. And then I'm going to SY, or excuse me, SZ, and I'm going to make sure that it is in relation to the 3D cursor. Actually, individual origins, SZ, nope, it's still wanting to, that's interesting. Kind of makes you want to go, Okay, so cursor to selected, no, that's not what I want. Shift S, I'm going into object mode. I'm snapping the cursor to my pivot point. I'm going to go back into edit. I guess maybe it works a little bit differently in edit mode. So I'm going to use the 3D cursor as my transform pivot, scale on the Z, just so it goes up. Instead of scaling on both sides, it only scales in the up direction. So that's pretty good. Doesn't have to be perfect. Let's X-ray a bit. I'll give it Scale it down a little bit on the Y just so it's not sticking out super bad. Scale it back down on the Z a little bit. Scale it back down on, because I'm realizing I don't need it to go all the way out there. There we go. That's pretty good. So we'll call this we'll call this window underscore large underscore type 02 underscore cutout. And then I'm going to grab this parent pivot point and I'm going to parent it to that. So object. I'm also going to make sure that it is inside this window collection so that everything is attached to this pivot point and I can move the whole window around all at once. I'm going to change the view. Number one, I'm going to make this so this doesn't render. I'm going to go to my objects, object properties tab, and do wire so that it doesn't show. And then I'm going to actually scale it a little bit out on the Y just so there's a little more peeking out. And then with that done, I'm also going to make sure, well, it's already parented, so I don't need to worry about constraining it. I think we're good on that. And then I'm just going to go grab this siding here and add a Boolean modifier to it. Which actually, you know what? It looks like I already have one for that. So we'll do window dot 01 cutout. And then we will see if I can grab this Boolean, if I can. There we go, cutout. There we go. And that is a difference. And that did cut it out. So we're good. We're good to go. I may want to take this and I'm trying to remember if there's an easy way. Yeah, there's copy to selected. Okay, so I'm gonna, with this highlighted, I'm gonna shift select this guy, and or actually no, and then I'm actually gonna go back to this. So now I have this one selected. See, it's the kind of dimmer orange color, whereas this is the brighter orange. That means that that is the my active selection. So now I'm going to go to this guy here, and I'm going to say copy to selected, so that it actually cuts it out of the main guy here. Which is it? Yeah, I guess it is. I wonder if maybe I should turn off. Fast, exact. This one I think I can probably get rid of. Okay, so that does, it cuts it out, not entirely, because I guess because of the way this blockout is built. So it's not, you know what, I might just leave it. I'm not going to worry about that too much. Okay, so now I need to work on these guys. Let me just make sure everything is kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Placed correctly and named correctly, because I'm trying to get organized here, because I need to start placing this stuff around the object. So like for instance, this guy I'm going to need to duplicate. I also want to check these guys and make sure that they're in their instance. What I'm going to do for now, I think, is I'm going to create this folder here with a base version of the object in it, and then inside that I'll create a sub folder or collection with the instances, the extra instances of that object. So like for instance, this is one. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that name to this guy, and that should automatically count it. So we'll move that in there. Same with this one. No, I might renumber these at some point, but it's not 100% necessary. This guy needs to be moved in place. I think, is this one out of place too? I think this one might be as well. Because what I did is I scaled this block down yesterday, I believe, and I need to fix these so that they move back in place. So I'm actually going to hide, let's turn off all these other non-essential stuff right now, just so I can see what I'm doing. I grab this guy, GX, snap it, make sure this is on we get center, edge, GY. Okay, why is that being off? Is it because I'm in global space? Oh, it's because I'm on 3D cursor. I did that yesterday too. GY, snap it to the level of that. GX, snap it. And keep it kind of in line where it is. GZ, I'm going to make sure it just snaps to the top of this so that those are lined up. I'll worry about the top of this guy later, because this thing is really just here as a placeholder to kind of have something to snap to. So same thing here, although this time I'm going to go G, Shift, Z, just so it doesn't move on the Z, and I'm just going to snap like that. Also want to check, see if I turn, see that's negative 112.5. Let me just see what happens if I turn it back to 0. Is it proper? Yeah, that's good. So undo that, because I want to have like a base. All of these guys are sharing the same mesh, and I want to make sure that there is a sort of a baseline that I'm working from, and I'm just repeating instances of the same mesh. That way, if I need to go back and adjust the mesh, it's no big deal. G, Shift, Z, snap it to that. Okay, so now I have all those lined up. Now I need to do the same thing with this siding, but I need to make sure everything goes with it. Now I could, let me think about this. Select everything here. I could just duplicate this entire instance here. Problem is that might make snapping a little bit trickier. Let's just try it. Shift A, collection instance, siding underscore primary, GX. Oh, and it looks like, did it actually bring everything over? Doesn't look like it did anything. That's weird. So if I got this in here, make sure, yeah, that should all be in the, it's in that folder. So the instance should have brought, oh, that's why it's got it out of line. Okay, so I just need to check what's going on with my pivot points here. So let's select all. I'm going to right click, select objects. I'm going to isolate just to see what's going on. Oh, and that's why, because the booleans, I don't necessarily want the cutout booleans to follow. I want the different pieces to have different booleans on it, because there's just going to be different windows. So that's the reason I'm not using an instance. Now I remember. Okay, so I'm just gonna unlink this. I don't need that instance. I'm just gonna take this guy, and I'm going to, tell you what, here's what we'll do. Let's create yet another folder or collection. New, we'll call that just siding. And then inside that, we'll drag this in there. Okay. And then I'm just going to duplicate this collection, and we'll call that siding.001, and I'm going to, I'm actually going to go ahead and do a pivot point on this as well. So let's turn this guy off, and we have that one. I'm going to go in here, I'm going to just check this base here. See, okay, so on these I have the pivot point currently at the top, and which is fine as long as I just make sure everything in the collection is following that same point. I'm going to Shift S, cursor to selected. I'm going to add in a empty. I'm going to call this siding underscore pivot. Wait, is that what I call it? Yeah, pivot. Siding underscore pivot. And then I'm just gonna grab all these, or excuse me, shift select, and then control select this guy to highlight it, and then control P to parent to object. Okay, and now when I move this pivot, that should move everything. Okay. And that's all good. That's all good. Also, I want to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put in object. I'll do a copy location constraint for this guy just to make sure that if I do accidentally grab the actual siding itself, the pivot still follows it. Makes for a little bit of weirdness. I still want to be grabbing this guy, but, or actually, you know what I could do instead? Let me clear that. Let's just close it off here. And instead what I'll do is just make all these inside it unselectable and just make sure that I'm grabbing the pivot at any given point. Okay, so, and actually I kind of need to do that with the original version as well. So maybe I'll just delete that version and start fresh. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to delete this collection. I'm going to keep the one I've got and I'm going to duplicate it. And let's change the numbers here so that they match up. There we go. Alright, and I just need to do the same thing here. Let's grab him, move him, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to snap to edge center and G Shift Z because I don't want it to move up on the Z axis. I'm going to snap it to this guy right here. Okay, and then I'm going to rotate R, let's see, is it negative 22.5 on the Z axis? No, it would be 45. So RZ 45, negative 45. Okay, cool. There we go. And I just need to do the same thing around here. So let's grab another one. Duplicate collections, make sure the numbers are right. Make that 0.003, 003. All the ones inside are correct. G, Shift Z, snap it to that, RZ 45, negative. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, and I'm gonna probably do this one more, and then this one I'm gonna hold off on because that's gonna be a different side. And then so duplicate this collection. Change the name. That's because the reason it's doing that is because I think I have another collection somewhere called siding that is maybe a little out of date. I could go ahead and hunt it down and try to get rid of it, but I don't really need to right now. It's not that big of a hassle to just change the numbers right now, and then I'll go through and start cleaning out the file. Okay, cool. So we have this guy. I'm gonna need to probably mirror across actually, which I kind of wish I'd done before I did all that. So for instance for this guy, I'm gonna need to go to my modifiers here. I should have a world pivot, I believe, somewhere. Let me add a mirror, and then there should be a world pivot, I think. And it should go across the X so that, yeah, so it's duplicating it all the way across here. So that's what I want. Just to add that, and then I guess what I can do is just, let's open all of these up, and I will control select all three of these. Control select this one so that it's active, and then I will just copy. Copy to selected. It's not highlighted. Why is it not highlighted? Why aren't you highlighted? Probably because these are not selectable right now. Let me turn this on and do it again. There we go. Okay. Let's grab this guy. Copy to selected. Okay. That duplicates that modifier to all of those guys. And voila. Now we got siding. Now we're cooking with gas. We're cooking with gas. Okay. Let's actually, I'm going to take this guy, the same one, because theoretically this should work correctly, and grab him. Let's find him. So grab number one. Let's make all this so it's not selectable. Let's grab this. grab, see, well actually you know what, these do need to be selectable for this, so let's grab all of these, and then let's control select, doesn't really matter which one, any one of these siding bases, and then just copy to selected to get that mirror modifier, and that will modify it, that will mirror it across the X. And I really need to find, let's see where I can find, see if I can find that world pivot in here. I may not be able to find it until I show some of this stuff. See, it's in one of these. Yeah, here it is. Okay, let's move this out into just the blockout folder so that it's still there whenever I turn it on. So I'm mirroring across where this pivot is. So if I were to move this pivot, it'll move all of those. So, which actually is probably not something I want most of the time. So I might ought to lock its location, or actually, well, it's an empty, so I can't really apply the location. Oh yeah, I can. Never mind, I can do that. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and lock these values. I'm probably going to lock the rotation as well. Lock the scale. Okay, and then we'll go from there. Okay, and it is time for a break. This says 5 minutes, but I'm actually going to take 10 minutes. So let me get my stream timer up. We'll start that, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm about ready to come back. Give me just a second. Okay, let's get to it. Okay. All right. So getting back to it. Now what I need to start doing is I want to start getting these brick areas and stuff placed around the bottom here. So, as well as this baseboard. So let's check the stuff here. Do I need on this one? I don't know if I need the pivot point or not. Let's go ahead and let's add one just to be safe. Oops. Shift S, cursor selected. Shift A, add an empty plain axis. Okay, and let's see, where did that bring that in? I don't think I brought it in where I want it. Let me move this to the siding underscore baseboard. We'll go. I wonder if I can get away with just calling it baseboard underscore pivot. I'll do that for now, because I need to start simplifying these names as much as I can. Just baseboard, and we'll go ahead and call that .001 .001 and .001. Okay, and then I'm going to take this guy and parent it to the pivot. Okay, so now when I move this pivot, it moves this guy, and for the time being I will go ahead and turn the selection off on him, and so we can grab this pivot to move it, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did up there and create a new collection that's just called baseboard. Oops, if I can spell baseboard correctly. Oh, and also I need to start my timer. Let's grab baseboard and move it in there, baseboard 1, and now I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that collection. Okay, and let's turn off the other one. Let's move this guy. Actually, I don't really need to turn it off. Just move it. We're going to snap it. We're going to move it on the G on Shift Z so it doesn't move up and down. And then with the middle edge snapping, I'm going to snap it to this bottom edge. RZ 45 negative. There we go. That should line up about how I want it. Okay, so we're good there. Let's do the same thing here. Duplicate collection. Same deal. G, Shift Z, snap it here. RZ 45 negative. There we go. And same thing here. Duplicate that. Duplicate collection. G, or make sure I have the pivot point selected. G, Shift Z, so it doesn't move up and down on the Z axis. So that excludes the Z axis. So now it's moving on just the X and the Y. I'm going to snap to this. RZ 45 negative. Okay. And again, I'm using the edge center snapping, so it's snapping to the center of whatever edge that I hover over. Okay, and I'm going to leave it at that for now. I also do need to apply those mirror modifiers to it. So let's just grab this guy again, or one of these. Let's grab him, and then I need to make these actually selectable. So baseboard, where are my baseboards? Baseboard. Let's open all these. Open all these. Let's turn the selection back on these. Grab them. Control. Select them. And then I'm just going to shift select this guy. And I'm going to go to this bottom mirror modifier. Perfect. I'll change the name. A mirror across world pivot, just so it's easier to understand. Copy to selected, and that should copy them over here. Yes. Okay, cool. Okay. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. And then we'll go ahead and make all these unselectable for now. All right. Okay, so same thing with this guy. Let's take a look at our place. So we've got the brick. Okay, brick center type 1. I don't even need that. I need that. I'm just going to go brick center. We'll call this brick center dot 001. We'll add that to this one as well. Dot 001. Let's see, brick. That's brick corner. I wonder. Let's think about this. Should I do? Yeah, no. I'm gonna keep it as keep that. So brick corner. Call it good and call that dot 001. Let's give it its own collection. So let's just call this brick. Or actually, here we'll create a new collection in here. Brick underscore corner. Move that in there. We'll just call this just generally brick. Brick. Yeah, just brick is fine. Brick underscore corner, and then we'll create a new collection again called brick underscore center. Okay, and move that into there, and now we'll create another collection inside brick underscore center dot 001. Move that in there, and then let's create another pivot. Shift A. Actually, make sure cursor selected, which should be fine already. Shift A. Add another empty, which it's gonna be lining it up. I think. Is it gonna be lining it? I think it's gonna be lining it up at the same place as this guy's empty, so that may not be what we want. And actually, I do kind of wonder if I shouldn't connect these two. No, I'm going to keep them separate for now. We'll go brick center. So I've got my new empty. I think what I'm going to do, though, is I am going to line it up to the bottom of this guy instead of the top. G, Z, line it up there. Make sure it's actually, is it lining up all the way to the bottom if I snap? Yeah, okay, cool. So we're good there. So I'm going to go brick underscore center dot 001. Okay, and I forgot, did I put pivot? Did I call the other things pivot? I'll go ahead and call it pivot. And then we'll just shift select, make sure this is the active one by control selecting. and then Control P object. Okay, and it's parented. Now I can duplicate. Actually, before I do that, let's go ahead and add the mirror modifier from above. So I'll grab this guy and then this guy, or actually, sorry, shift select that guy, so this one's highlighted. Copy to selected. Okay, so now it has that mirror across. Okay, and now I will go ahead and start duplicating, duplicate collection, and grab this guy. Do I have any chats? Got any chats? I don't got no chats. Come on, guys. If you're watching this VOD later, I need some patrons here. I know I'm new, but come on, Twitch. Let's go. I'll start uploading some YouTube videos and such. Oh, you know what? This thing keeps freaking doing this. I keep snapping to... Here, let's make all these unselectable again. And let's move this G, Z. I need to snap it to that level. Oh, and now all of a sudden it's in the proper place again. It's a weird, man. Let me do edge, GZ, snap to closest, GZ. Maybe not. Just move it up a little bit here. I think, you know what it is? It's the frickin', it's this constraint that I put on here, I think. So siding base, or is it this constraint? Maybe it's, wait, I thought I had a constraint on there. Oh yeah, these copy transforms constraints. Do I need that on there? No. Let's take these constraints off. I think they're causing problems. I'm gonna take them off. Oops. Although that one messed something up, it looks like. Oh, and I'm on the wrong object too. Let's just boolean here. That's right. Scaling's good. Scaling's good. If I go back to my boolean here, turn off this scale. So I guess, okay, so the location is not where I want it to be. So let's Shift S, cursor to selected. I'm gonna remove this now, and I'm actually gonna just snap that back selection to cursor, right where it was. And it is parented to the pivot, so it should still move correctly. That's good. I can get rid of this one because that's in the right. Oh, no, it's not. Snap selection to cursor. Okay. And with that done, I'm going to make these uneditable. Although, you know what, all that, it doesn't matter because I would have to redo it on all those, so I'm not going to worry about it. But. We're looking pretty good so far. So let's get back to this guy. Number one, just double check here. So that's the baseboard. Yes, that's the baseboard. I'm kind of wondering if I shouldn't replace that pivot with something different. So we got plane axis. We got cube. We've got circle. We got. Could do maybe. So we've got the arrows, and then we've got the plane axis, which may be something a little easier to pick out, maybe. I wish it would let me adjust the actual sizing of it, though. There's image. Nah, just stick with the plane axis is fine. It's fine. It's unobtrusive. It's fine. Although it looks like I need to make the size bigger. Again, we'll call it 3 feet. There we go. Maybe do the same for all these, just so that it's even and I'm OCD. Okay, so let's get this done. Alright, so we got brick corner. We need the same thing. Let's, number one, let's make sure that the axis that I bring in, I'm going to bring in an empty, or actually Shift S, cursor selected to get the cursor where I want it. Shift A, bring in the empty, and then I'm going to bring it down on the Z and snap it to this bottom here. Okay, so it snaps to the bottom of the wall, and we'll call that, this needs to be in the corner, so we'll call it brick underscore corner underscore pivot dot 001. And then grab this and parent to selected. Okay, and that should move it around. We also need to give it its own collection. Dot 001 and move it in there, and now I can duplicate. Okay, and grab it. Actually, let's make sure I got the right one selected. I do. And now I'm going to, this time I'm going to switch this to vertex selection, and G, Shift Z, and snap it to this vertex. Nope, doesn't look like, oh, my parenting didn't work. So I need to, oh, I see. I didn't move it in. So that didn't get duplicated. So let's duplicate this guy, Shift D, and then move it into the proper collection. Make sure that it is parented appropriately. So this should be parented to this. Control P, object, like so. Make sure everything is named right. Good, good. It's good. It's good. And also let's make this guy unselectable. Select objects. G, Shift Z, snap this over there. RZ 45, negative 45. Actually, come to think of it, just think about this. I turn this, oops, wrong one. Wait, no, is that right? Yeah. I make that selectable. I could feasibly turn this back to 0. Not necessary. It's not necessary. Okay. Alright, and same thing, let's duplicate this collection. Let's make this not selectable again. Actually, before I do that though, I do need to apply the mirror, I think. Oh no, it's mirrored already. It's mirroring, good, good, good. That's good. And how am I doing on time? We got 10:42. Duplicate collection. Grab this one. GZ, or excuse me, Shift Z. Snap to that. RZ 45 negative, like so. And same thing. Duplicate. Select objects, GZ, or excuse me, Shift Z, snap to this guy, RZ 45 negative. Looking pretty good here, pretty good, pretty good. Looks like I haven't duplicated this guy yet. So we'll do brick center 03, duplicate, collection. Grab this guy, GZ, or excuse me, Shift Z, do the edge edge center, GZ, Shift Z, I keep doing that, RZ 45 minus 45. Okay. I kind of want to start working on the windows, but let's go ahead and duplicate one more time and get these two. So we'll duplicate, collection, grab this, G, Shift Z, snap to this center, RZ 45 negative. Okay, hide that, And then we need to do the same thing with this last brick corner. We'll duplicate collection, grab that guy, G, Shift Z. Need to change the pivot back to vertex, G, Shift Z, snap, RZ, 45 negative. Okay, I know this is repetitive. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. There's a baseboard that I didn't finish, or several baseboards. So I need to do this baseboard corner as well. So let's get that. Save. I'm going to go ahead and save an increment, and then save again, save as TR Cobb. Come to think of it, is the save a copy not on here? I don't like how the incremental save, like I wish it would just incremental save as a copy, not save incremental save, like it adds a number to the file name and just saves it as that, which is good, but then, you know, I like to keep the master, be working in the master file and just have those copies as iterations, or those iterations as copies. Okay, so we have corner, column, we'll call this, instead of corner column base, we'll call it baseboard underscore corner. And we'll call this baseboard underscore corner dot over 1. And we'll create a new collection, baseboard underscore corner dot over 1. Okay, and this guy, I think I can just get rid of that. Delete. Save. It's good. It's a good habit to get into, to just save a lot. Save whole bunches and bunches of oats. All right, so we got this guy. I'm actually going to bring in the pivot right where it's the 3D cursor is. So Shift A, plane axis. And where did that come in? Did that come in the right place? No, it did not. We'll move that to, so move to block out. I really need to go through and reorganize these folders, but we got baseboard. Oh, it's under corner column. So baseboard corner, I need to move that as well. Okay, and then let's just go to it. So these need to go in here. I'm gonna go ahead and move this baseboard corner to, where am I gonna move it? Okay, I got these corner columns instance, the baseboard. Yeah, let's move this baseboard to, I really need to, tell you what, I'm going to move this whole facade folder into the primary blockout, because that's what this stuff is all related to. It's the facade of the building. So, and then I'm going to move this baseboard corner to the baseboard folder, or maybe not to the folder, just like right near the folder. There we go. Just so they're right next to each other. So should I call it? I'll call it baseboard primary, baseboard corner. Okay, and then we've got this one right here. We've got our empty, so we'll call it baseboard underscore corner. I don't know if this is actually supposed to be called a baseboard or not, but that just makes sense to me. Dot over 1. I'm not really an architectural type. I kind of wish I had more architectural knowledge, though. At some point I may try to do more of that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, number one, let's check and double check. See, the mirror is not on it yet. So let's see if I can grab something that has it, and then shift select. Actually, this one needs to be highlighted, though, so shift select again. And then I'm just going to copy to selected so that that has the mirror on it, which it does. Oh, but I did the wrong one, actually. I meant to do the baseboard. So let's grab this, shift select that. Now I'll do it again, copy to selected. Okay, so now it's mirroring across. Now with that done, let's go ahead and duplicate it. Again, I know this is repetitive, but sometimes this kind of work is repetitive. Okay. G, Shift, let me see, am I on vertice selection? Okay, I'm on snapping to vertices. G, Shift, Z, snap to this vertice, R, Z, 45 negative. Okay, duplicate collection. Grab this guy, G, Shift, Z, snap to this guy, R, Z, 45 negative. It doesn't look like it quite snapped right that time. I think I got the wrong vertice. Let's snap to the edge instead. I'll go edge, G, Shift, Z, snap to there. There we go. Same thing with this guy. G, Shift, Z, snap to this edge. Okay. Awesome, awesome. Now it's starting to look like an actual house. Instead of just a bunch of pieces. So you got 2 minutes left. Let's finish getting these all played out. Duplicate collection. Grab this one. G, Shift, Z, snap to this guy, RZ, 45 negative. Make sure everything looks right. Okay, and one more for now. Duplicate collection. Grab him, G, Shift, Z, snap, RZ, 45 negative. Okay, cool. We're good. We good. We good. Now I need to start working on the windows. But first I need to take another break. Or at least I will. Let me get prepped for that. Okay, so under Windows, let's go to this small version. Type 1. See what I've done here. I guess I'm gonna go, okay, so window underscore small underscore type 01 underscore top pane. Okay, and then this one is the same thing but bottom pane. Okay, and then underscore shutters, and I need to check the scaling on everything. See, if I Alt G with it, it goes back to the center. That's good. I'll go ahead and apply scale on this as well, although it's sharing its data with something, so let's create a new one. Create a small frame. Same thing here. Looks like I need to name the data on all these, but first let's make sure that the scale is applied, because this should be pretty well what I want it to be. Let's see, scale applied on these. Control A scale. Control A scale. Scale is applied there. See, and that is all one object. Let's go ahead and grab this. Wait, I thought I already named that. Apparently not. Okay, and grab that. Let's grab the bottom pane. Windows smalls. Okay, so it's time for me to take a break anyway. When I come back, we will continue with the windows, and I will go ahead and start placing windows around. And then, after that, what I'll probably do is go ahead and make sure that the block out for the rest of the house is starting to come together, so that I can go ahead and start placing the bricks and the siding on the back parts of the house. Because I want to work from the ground up. From here on the rest of the project, I want to work from the ground up. And by that, really, I kind of need to focus on this the next couple days and get this knocked out, because there's a presentation on Thursday. It's not really a big deal, but I still would like to get it done this week, because this is taking longer than I intended initially, or than I realized it was going to initially to get this done. Partially because I've been stumbling my way through it a little bit because I've never done a project like this before. It should get easier as I do more houses, and I will be doing a lot of houses and a lot of environment stuff in general from now on. So yeah, so let's be prepared for that. It looks like I need to kind of do something similar with our columns here too to get everything organized. I've got them duplicated around here, but I actually don't like that. I want to get it set up the same way that I just did these other ones. So I will do that when I get back actually. Start getting the windows done, but then I need to get those as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and start a Pomodoro here, get our timer going, take 10 minutes, and I will be right back. see here. It's about to come back, you guys. Okay, let's do a few seconds early. Okay, so now let's start another Pomodoro, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the same sort of housekeeping stuff I was doing with these corner columns here that I did initially. I'm actually gonna go ahead and delete this one because that one's gonna need to be different anyway. And then these, actually probably I'm gonna end up deleting and replacing those as well. But first, let's do so we got corner column, yeah, I'll just leave it there, and base. I'm just gonna delete all these. I don't need them. Okay, and then we have, what is that? Yeah, just delete that one as well. And then we have this corner column primary, and I'm going to just rename that corner column .001. Okay, and rename this corner column .001. Move this in here. I don't really need the extra collection there, so I'll just get rid of that. Delete. Okay, and then let's check this guy. Let's see here. For this one, do I want to go ahead and put, for now, I'm going to go ahead and put the pivot right at the top, I think. So Shift S, cursor selected to move our 3D cursor to that. I'm going to Shift A to add in a new plane axis. Okay, and we will call that, let me find it and make sure it's in the right folder. So under facade, corner columns, corner column 001, we'll move that there. And then we'll go corner underscore column underscore pivot dot 001. Okay, and parent the corner column to that pivot. So Control P with the pivot as the active selection, Control P object, and now it is parented. So if I move that pivot around, the corner column follows it. And I also need to, it already has the mirror applied to it. Let's just check it. I'm going to go mirror cross world pivot just to be consistent. Alright, and with that done, I think we can go ahead and duplicate that collection. Grab this one, Shift Z, snap to that corner, RZ 45 negative. Okay, duplicate. Grab this one, G, Shift Z, snap to that corner, RZ 45 negative. Duplicate. G, Shift Z, snap here, RZ 45 negative, and we'll do one more. Duplicate. Collection G. Wait, did I get the wrong one? Yeah, I did. G, Shift Z, snap to this guy, RZ 45 negative. Okay, cool. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's work on our windows here. So I got this guy. Let me find it in my, by the way, I'm hitting period when I'm selecting the object, going over to my outliner, and then hitting the period key to center on the active selection. And, okay, so I thought I already fixed this. Did I already fix this? Or did I just change, oh, I just changed it in here. I didn't actually change it on the object. So, the name, sorry. Changing the name. I'm trying to get everything organized. So, we've got the frame, we have the shutters, We have the top pane. I think I like camel case better for that than dashes. Bottom pane, try that. Okay, and I'll actually copy that to the mesh name. Same thing on this guy. Oops, although that needs to be top pane, not bottom pane. Top pane, okay. I guess I'll go ahead and add a fake user, just in case. Same thing here, got that one, and got that one, okay. Now we need a pivot point, so first off, let's make sure everything is where we want it in terms of pivots already. This guy, I'm actually going to transform that one, GZ, snap it to this edge, make sure it's right there in the center. I'm going to leave that where it is, This one, where's the pivot on it? Oh, it's on the left. Okay, so for this, that's probably, do I want to go ahead and apply this mirror? I'll leave it for now, just in case. That's okay. All right, and then let's go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and add the pivot right where this one is. Let's turn off the origins. Shift A, add plane axis. Call that window underscore small underscore type 01 underscore pivot. Grab all of these and then control select this guy, so it's the active one. Oh, and I added the pivot in the wrong place. So let me grab this, Shift S, cursor to selected, grab our pivot, selection to cursor, so it pops into place right there. Now I'm going to grab all of these, grab that, control, click that one so it's the pivot is the active, control P, object. Okay, now that should move everything. No problem. Also, I need to go ahead and do a boolean for this guy. So right where it is good, so let's add in another mesh cube. We'll S Y 0.5. That's close enough. SX, scale it out. Also, I need to change probably the location of the pivot, so let's grab this face, Shift S, oops, Shift S, cursor to selected, right click, origin to 3D cursor, GZ, snap it, oh, and it's not on the, make sure centers is on, GZ, snap the center to that, oops, GZ, snap it to the bottom there is probably good, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply the scale, or actually I move it up and then I'll apply the scale. That's probably good. Control A, apply scale. Let's turn the wire on, textured from textured to wire, like so. Okay, and then I'm going to call this window underscore small underscore type 01 underscore bool, or actually no, what did I say? It said cutout. Cutout. Okay. I really kind of need to do curtains for this guy too, but I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Let's grab this and this and parent that new cutout to this pivot, and now for this guy, which is not selectable at the moment, let me find it. For the base here, we'll grab this. See, we'll call this window lower cutout for the one that we already did, and then we'll probably just go ahead and duplicate this one and just change the cutout object to this one. There we go. And we'll call that one window upper cutout. And this one is that mirror across? That's the mirror across the world, isn't it? Yeah. So we'll change that mirror across world pivot. See the array. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, the array is duplicate boards. And then this one, this is create boundary cutout. We'll just call it boundary cutout. Okay. Save. Alright, and then this guy is too far down, so let's check my, see if I can pull up my reference, find a good picture. Also, do I have PureRef up yet? I don't have PureRef up. Let's go ahead and load PureRef with the windows. Okay, and so it needs to be basically lined up kind of with the bottom of these two corner pieces. So let's GZ, move it up about there, probably. Doesn't have to be exact. Just check it again. There's more space, it looks like. Ooh, you know what? Ooh, these guys look a little, these look a little too short. I may need to adjust that. So let's test this out. So I have all these connected now, so this is the first time I'm going to need to do any sort of adjustment. So let's see if my theory on how to do the instances here is going to make my life easier. So if I make this tall enough to reach the top of this, we've got snapping to edges, GZ, snap. I would have thought, do these not share the same data? These should be sharing the same data, I would have thought. What do we got here? I got corner column, and then this one. Okay, so let's just switch these to corner column. I wonder, can I switch them all at the same time? I wonder, can I? I don't know. Control link. Can I link object data? There we go. There we go. Okay, cool. That's what I wanted. It's what I wanted. Sorry, I make weird noises sometimes, you guys. Okay, so that's a little better. I also probably need to, I do kind of wonder if, okay, so right now I've got these siding set up to, like for instance these booleans here. I kind of wonder if these booleans shouldn't use the same data as well, at least for these. So if I change this name to siding bool underscore type 01 or v1, it might be easier to say v1. Make that, give that data, and then let's go ahead and edit that mesh. Oh, it's not editable yet. Select it, edit it. Turn on X-ray mode so I can find it. GZ, move it up here. Oh, it looks like maybe what I actually need to do is move the actual base here to the top. So let's grab that, make sure it's selectable, grab it, go into edit mode and move that up so that it snaps, although that's not quite what I want. Let's go closest, GZ, snap it to the top there, maybe down just a little bit. Go back out of edit mode, turn off X-ray, just so I can see it. It's not too bad. Okay, and let's check my images again. It still looks a little bit, see, are these boards the right size, or are they too big? I actually think these boards may be a little too tall. Okay, so if I go, first off, let's make sure that the pivot is right. See, Local origin, no, we'll do, see, normals. If I select, I make sure I face select and select just that one. Yeah, that's good. Okay, let's just make this a little bit smaller, not too much. It's still not quite right at the bottom here, and I wonder if did I move this up too far? Yeah, this probably can go down to closer. I need more of a front view. Let's take a look at this one. Yeah, it's closer probably to the bottom of this guy. Maybe something like that. Let's see, and then we have 1, 2, like 3.5 basically. Going up to the top. Let's see if I can find some other images to kind of adjust this. Find a good one of the front of the house. Let me see if I can find one kind of backed off from it. See that I have these iPad images. Let's see if I got a good image of the front here. Which gives me a little bit more. Yeah, so okay. So it does look like maybe these corner pieces are a little too small. Still. So, maybe not too bad. Because it does look like maybe, okay, let's adjust this guy a little bit more. So, go into X-ray mode. I feel like maybe all of this can come down just a tad. So if I were to grab, say, all of these faces here, and then let's make sure, let's turn on local maybe. I want to make sure I don't get this screwed up. Normal, I'll tell you what, let's select, let's go to edge selection mode, grab this edge, create a new custom, actually I've got all these custom transform orientations, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all these because I don't even remember what they are. And then let's create a new one. And now with that, let's select all of these edges here. Make sure it got everything. Now moving in relation to this outer edge here, which hopefully should keep everything nice and even. And what else? So we're moving on the Y, and I want to turn on my proportional editing, G, Z, excuse me, on the Y. Turn up the proportional editing so it drags kind of all those with it a little bit. Yeah. Just to get a little bit more something there. Yeah, that's much, I'd say that's much better. Also, it looks like is it wider too? Why am I getting a zillion frickin' emails all at once? Oh, Apple's not happy with me because I haven't. Okay, sorry, getting some emails here. Okay, so for the top here, probably all I won't need to do is, number one, oh, you know what, I really wish I had, now I'm wishing I had a mirror modifier in here. I'm going to zero this out real quick, just so I can see, and then I'm going to go in edit mode. See, where's my pivot? I'm going to go ahead and clear this, clear all these vertices on this side, and then I'm going to add a mirror modifier to it, another mirror modifier, pull it up to the top. There we go. mirror geo just to be specific about it. Make sure nothing funky's going on here. Okay, and let's turn that back 22.5. Let's go into edit mode. Let's grab, oop, what's going on here? Looks like, is that just, I think that's just a shadow. It's making weirdness, but, and then I'm gonna go to normal, pull that out a bit. Just to give it more. Yeah, I think that's a good bit better. And then these all need to get, I need to apply the same modifier to, so let's grab these. And then shift select this guy, so it's the active one, and then copy to selected. There we go. Okay, much better. Now for this one, I suppose maybe I just need to go ahead and extend this up a bit. Possibly. A little reluctant to do that though right now. Or I can maybe go ahead and, actually, do I need to? Maybe I just need to go ahead and move this down on the global GZ. Also, you know what? It's not snapped in the center either. So GX, snap it to the sky. Something like that, maybe. And let's take a look here. That may actually be pretty close to right. Let me see. Let's see what else we got going on here. Probably can't go any further down. Also, I wonder if potentially those parts, no, that looks pretty good. That's pretty darn close. It's pretty close. I might come back to it later and realize that it's still off, but it's pretty close. Now, are the could be that maybe these aren't quite wide enough. So let's see here. Let's go back into edit here. Let's grab this entire side as well as that one. And let's make sure normals, nope, not normals, edge. Can I create just a new custom orientation? No, that's not what I want either. Let's delete that. Let's just grab this one, create a new custom orientation. Now let's grab all these, so Alt select and make sure to grab this one as well. Grab, and with this face selected, I should be able to move those, move those out a bit, and it should mirror appropriately on both sides. Let's take a look and see if I went too far or not. I think that's too far. Maybe that just the window's too small. It may be too small. I may have to scale them up. Take another look here. When in doubt, check another photo. So by and large, fully extended those shutters basically reach to the edge here. And I don't think these need to be any larger. In fact, I don't know that they need to be extended at all. Yeah. That's pretty good, actually. So it would mean that this probably, let's go cursor selected, get our 3D cursor here, and probably all of these need to scale up. Just a tad. And then I'm going to scale in relation to the 3D cursor. So scale up. GY, move back a little bit. Wonder if that's better. G's, or actually move the whole thing down on the G, or on the Z. That looks closer to me. Which also means I probably need to scale this guy up a tad too, because this window is supposed to match up kind of with that window. And also I'm going to need to apply that scale. And let's check my measurements as well. Let's see how this is going. Just a tad over 3 foot. Just a tad under 3 foot. That sounds about right. Grab this. Let's see if I can grab kind of this corner inside of the window. Yeah, and that's almost exactly 3 foot. I think that's good. That's good. Okay, cool. So I need to do the same thing on the bottom, but I'm going to do that when I come back. So it is time for another break. So I'm going to take 10 minutes again. Let's start that, and I will be back. Okay, let's see here. Still got about a minute. So I'm gonna have to learn how to do ragdoll physics in Unreal this weekend, and I'm gonna have to make a tutorial on it for class. So look out for that. There will be a tutorial. It may not be the best tutorial ever, because I'm essentially just gonna be figuring it out and piggybacking off of what other people probably much better with Unreal know how to do. But regardless. Okay, so let's see here. Let me get back on. Oops. Sorry. The wrong button. There's my logo. Okay, let's start another Pomodoro. I'm kind of wondering if I shouldn't change the Pomodoro time to maybe like 30 minutes and then just, because the 10-minute breaks actually seems to make sense. 5 minutes is almost too short. I'm going to stop this. Let's change this to 30 minutes and give that a shot. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go into my tick settings. See if I can change that globally. If I can remember where to go. Let's see, focus timer, Pomo goals. I'll change this to 30 minutes, or maybe I should do 35, because it does seem like. Let's try 30. We'll see how it goes. Short break will go 10 minutes. Long break will go 20 minutes. Because yeah, I need to be better to myself in terms of just like taking breaks and enjoying my life, you know, and not always being under the gun with something. So let's get started. Let me grab my project here and start the Pomo. Okay, so we got 30 minutes. Where was I? I was trying to get the windows all properly sized. So let's take a look at this. So we got 3.25 there for that. I wonder if I shouldn't. That's actually pretty good. Let's see, how about this guy? See, I'm trying to figure out if there is a way. This may be a dumb noob sort of thing, but I kind of wonder if there is a way to specify the exact length of, say, like an edge or something. I'm not aware of a way to do that. Let's see, local, what is this? I wonder if, no, that's the X, that's the median line. What I would really need to do is grab this vertice. Oh, that is in relation to the actual center line, though. That could be useful. So what if I did make this actually, what would it do if I grabbed this whole edge, grab this edge here, actually go into X-ray mode, grab all these edges along this side, right here, and scooched them over 1.5, so that's exactly 1.5 from the pivot. And then from here, I can do the same thing with these, see what it's at. On z-axis, 5.4, 5.42. So I wonder if this would be really useful if I had exact measurements for the house, but I don't. I'm having to kind of go by /what I've found when I went out to the house and took some photos. let's see, 5.4, is that too small? 5.5, is that too much? Let's look at an image and see. I really kind of need a good frontal. There we go. Yeah, 5 point. What about these? Maybe I just move this up. 5.4 and 5.5. That makes sense. Oh, it looks like the window. Okay. And then that way I know for sure, if I go back to my measure tool and control, that's 3.2. Okay, that's more than I would have thought, unless I'm just snapping to the wrong thing. What about here? That does put that pretty much right at 3 foot. So that's pretty acceptable. So with that, let's make sure, set my scale again on all these. Oops. Delete that, go back to my selection mode. What am I selecting here? This one, let's go into edit mode real quick. Grab all these, GZ, just to move it up a little bit, snap it. Snap it, just want like a regular, just kind of a good placement for that. And then that one doesn't need to be applied, it's already applied, so let's grab this. I need to probably edit it a little bit actually. So let's grab, actually, no. Let's go back in, it's SX. See, I'm on global SX. Scroll it so it's kind of close to the inside of this window. Oop, that's too far actually. Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's fine where it is. And then up here, maybe I'm trying to GZ, snap it so it's fitting into that correctly. Let me just double check and see if that's the way it looks. Yeah, that's fine. And then up here, this kind of, okay, so this probably actually needs to scale. Let's do individual origins, scale on the Z a little bit, and then move it down so it matches up with this. And then, yeah. Okay, and then just go into X-ray mode, grab these top ones, and just make sure that they're lining up. Just kind of unnecessary, really, but I can be a little perfectionistic at times, in case you hadn't noticed. I fight it, but it is what it is. See, it's closest. Snap that to the top, and then let's go into edit mode and go into X-ray. Let's grab all these bottom ones, GZ, snap them down. Make sure that they're lining up well. Now in the photo, there's much more of a bottom lip here, so maybe I should move this up on the Z a bit. Maybe something closer to like that. Grab all these bottom faces, which looks I already have them, but I'm just going to GZ, snap that down. Oops. Oops. I have my proportional editing on. GZ, move it down. And actually, I'm going to grab all these faces here, SZ, and just kind of zero them out a little bit so that everything lines back up again, like so. And then I'm going to go in here. Something probably is off up here because of the proportional editing. I'm not seeing anything super obvious though, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Snap this, Maybe I need to switch this to, there we go. That's what I want. Alright, so those are lining up. That's good. Alright, so with that done, I need to make sure this bottom window is matching up. And I don't know, let me look at the photos. I don't know that I need to necessarily make the whole thing wider because it's already pretty wide. I think maybe just this interior part needs to be wider. Let's see if I can find a good photo of it. Yeah, it could be a little bit wider, looks like. And how about taller? Yeah, it could definitely be taller as well. In fact, now it's got me wondering if this is too high up here. But let's just see what happens when I go to, let's collapse all of these. Let me find that window. Window large, type 2. I think I turned off of all of this. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this constraint. Actually, why did I have that constraint there? And regardless, I'm going to get rid of it. And because all this is going to have to be adjusted anyway. So I've got this guy. First off, let's move the pivot where it's supposed to be. GZ, move it down to where it snaps with this guy. Move this up. Or tell you what, I'll go ahead and Shift S. Cursor selected. Let's snap this guy to the cursor so that it moves back up, and it looks like everything else is properly aligned. So let's grab all of these. Well, actually, I wonder if I could just grab maybe these inner parts here. Let's scale them based on the 3D cursor, where that is. Scale up. And let's check the measurement on that, see if I went too far. So like from this point to this point, and then maybe from like this point to this point, 3.3. Yeah, I may have gone too far. If I go into edit mode, and let's check, or tell you what, let's do these one at a time. Let's check this guy right here and see where he's at. So the X 0.77. So I guess if I look at it, it looks like maybe how am I doing on time here? So if I line this guy up, let's just grab one of these. Let's grab just these vertices here and try and line it up with the edge of this. So GX, line it up, snap it to that, and see where that is. Okay, yeah. So let's scale the whole thing back down a bit. Grab this one as well as these two. Scale the whole thing back down just a little bit, like so. I'm also wondering why the height is so off. Like, is this thing just too tall? Did I just get this way too tall? Is that what's going on? Let me check. Let's check our reference. So I've got my drone model here, and let's just take a look at that in material preview. Just see what we got going on here. Let's turn off my block out real quick. So yeah, it definitely looks like, number one, that window is maybe too short actually. It may need to be longer. And then these weirdly are too thin or too close together, but also not thick enough, it looks like. Although I need to be careful with this because this drone data is not super, what's the word, accurate. There's some finagling going on, but I don't want to do too much messing around. Definitely, and with regards to what we're actually doing here, though, maybe just I need to move this window down, but then make it a little taller, I think. Probably. And then just make sure that, I like the width where it is, though, I think. It does look kind of larger on here. It doesn't have to be 100% though. Okay, so let me turn this down. Let's move this guy down a bit. GZ. And then I'm going to take all these, let me find them in here. Take all of them except for the pivot itself. And scale on the Z, although I need to make sure to snap to the right place. Let's go to scale, cursor selected, grab all these, SZ, and get it up a bit. Maybe not too much, I don't want to go super crazy. Yeah, something more like that. That's much better. Much better. And then potentially need to do some more work on that guy. Get those. Yeah, I think somewhere along the line maybe I've gotten this too tall as well. Or something. Let's check the drone data one more time. So it's almost like I mean, it's pretty close. I do kind of wonder if like I don't need to like move all of this over on the X a little bit. Yeah. Something like so. And I moved it down too far. This isn't up high enough, I think. Okay, something like that. And then side. It looks like all of the stuff at the bottom needs to move up a bit. Yeah. So like all the brickwork and stuff is too short on the building. Needs to go up the building a bit. Okay, cool. So now I have some idea what I need to do. First off, let's get everything aligned on these two so that they match up appropriately. I feel like maybe that's pretty good. Okay, and then for this guy, I'm just going to hide the boolean real quick. And then I just need to make sure that this interior lip is matching up correctly with the edge of this guy. Just see where that is. Is it still too large? Yeah, it's still too large. Let's scale it back down a bit. Snap, cursor to selected, scale based on the cursor. Make sure all of these are selected, including the cutout. Scale it back down a little bit, because basically what it is everything's going to need to move up. And try to get this evenly matched up so that the edge of this frame is matching up with the appropriate spot up here. So G, grab this GX, snap it to there. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, so it's pretty close already. And let's grab these down here as well. And take a look here. Grab all of these here and just snap them to the top, same level as the top. GX. Actually, let me right click that. Let's do vertice. GX, snap to this vertice, just so everything lines up there. And then all of these vertices on the inside here are going to need to move over. Get a little bit more of a lip there. I suppose I could try snapping those to this up here maybe. GX, snap to that and just see how that does. That does pretty good actually. Okay, so let's get a little bit more right here. GZ, just a little bit. I just mainly wanted to make sure that those windows are matching up visually. So like the interior here probably needs to try and match, I probably need to try and match that up with sorry, I may be mumbling a little bit because I'm thinking a lot. And I get quieter when I'm thinking. It's harder to walk through exactly what I'm doing because I'm trying to figure stuff out. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to make sure that lines up with this edge. GX, snap it to that. Just make sure everything looks good. Let's go back out of material preview. Okay, and then this whole thing is gonna need to move up. Let's see, is the cutout okay? Yeah, cutout's fine. Okay, let's grab this whole thing and just move it up a little bit. I'm just going to kind of line it up so that it looks appropriate to what I'm seeing in the photos. That may have been a little too high. Let's grab that. And there's actually, it looks like, if you're looking at it from the top, it looks like there's a little extra top here, which I guess I sort of already have. It may just has more slope on it. That's something I can adjust later, though. I'm not that worried about it. Okay, and then we'll just need to move, I need to move all this up. So like these here need to move up such that it can snap to, I may have to eyeball it a little bit, GZ, something like that. Okay. And then like this one would do the same. GZ, snap it to the bottom of this guy so that matches up. So let's double check and make sure that the mesh, these are all using the same meshes. They're not. So if I do need to edit these, what about this one? Siding underscore base 1. That one's not selectable right now. Okay, well anyway, I'll fix that in a second. Let's one thing at a time. First off, this got kind of out. Okay. Just check the chat. Snap that to there. All right, and then this guy. So this one's going to be a little weird. Let's go, I'm going to go with this actual piece selected. I'm going to snap it to the top there. And then I'm actually going to take a look at my photos. See if I can find a good one that shows that part of the house. And figure out how I want to do this. Number one, do I have a mirror modifier on this guy? Yes, I do. Okay, so let's grab all of these and go into, let's GZ a little bit, SZ, like so, and check my reference, see if that's too far. Nope, that's actually pretty good. And then I'm going to need to do the same thing. First off, I need to make sure that all of these are sharing the same data. So let's grab all of those and then grab this one and Control L and link object data. And then also check this again. Is there any way to copy? Let's see, transfer mesh data, data type. Nah. Nah, it just means this one needs to move up. GZ to the same level as that. Although I don't know if that snapped to the right spot. GZ to this guy. Yep. GZ to this guy. Oops. What did I snap to? GZ here. There we go. And same thing here. So yeah. Yeah, that is much better. Much closer to what I was seeing there. Is it wide enough though? Here's the question. Let's take a look. Because it looks... well, it's hard to say. It feels like maybe it's not wide enough. Or like maybe, let me check the image again. It's hard to say until I get this part up. Let's go ahead and select that. Let's go to normal. GZ. Oops. Let's move it up there so I can see it. And then I need to copy. I need to grab this guy. Let's make it selectable again. Grab this guy and then this guy, Control L, copy object data, like so. And does that look appropriate? Yeah, I mean, I guess if you factor in the parts that are being covered up by the foliage and stuff underneath, then yeah, I think that's probably pretty good. Okay, so I just need to make sure that these are using the same data. This is using the same data. Let's grab this guy, make that selectable. Let's grab this guy, make that selectable, and this one as well. Grab all three of those, and then shift grab this, Control L, link object data, so that they all go up. how we doing on time here? Got 2:37 left. Okay, so let's check this guy. We got, I'm gonna hide that. I was trying to grab, okay, so I can't grab this guy. Find baseboard, pivot, baseboard 01. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. Let's make that selectable. Let's make the other baseboard selectable so that I can copy all the stuff over. I need to make sure that these are all using the same data. Control L, linked object data. I'll call that just baseboard. Okay, and then in terms of movement, these all need to move to the same height as this one. So GZ, snap it to, make sure I'm snapping it to the right one. GZ there. Also, it looks like, let's hide the baseboard primary. Let's hide the siding. Let's bring up our block out. And all of these, let's see where this is placed. G, Y. Actually, snap it to the center, edge center. G, snap to the edge center there, like so. Do the same thing with these. GZ, snap to that one. GZ, snap to that one, and then this guy as well. Which actually, this is not sharing the same data, I don't think. Control L, object, linked object data. GZ, snap. Let me snap it to the top of this guy. GZ, snap to the top of this, and then I just need to make sure that this is correct. Okay, alright, that's a stat, save, and it is time for another break. Oh, and it looks like it's time for a long break. Let's see, how many hours have we gone? We've gone 2.5 hours. Have I eaten lunch yet? Yes, I have. I've eaten lunch. So, should I take a, tell you what, I think I'm going to call it on the stream for today, just because I need to do some tutorial creation, and it's easier to do that when I'm not streaming. So if you are checking this later, keep an eye out. I will continue to work on this project, and as I've got some plans for a whole bunch of stuff that I want to cover over the next while. What's going on here? Got some weirdness going on. It looks like that I'm gonna have to fix. And keep an eye out, because I will be streaming regularly. Thank you so much for joining me.